Hello, wealthy, healthy, and on purpose. We are going to walk people into a Weekend Wednesday. And today is all about when you're trying to get someone to achieve some results, and what drives that behavior. Have you ever worked in a place where there's like a recognition miser and your boss does not give positive feedback? And when you're trying to drive people, maybe you're coaching clients, maybe you're working with a corporation, and that you want folks to take risks and you want people to feel confident to go for it, to have that initiative, or, that individual growth that comes from people giving recognition. And it's really interesting. Many corporations hire me after employee engagement surveys because what comes out in the surveys and some of the focus groups that the results were driven by was that there's a gap. They feel like they're not given recognition. And so when you ask people about why and what are those statistics, Achieve Global is an organization that delivers great training, and their data gleaned that some of the barriers to giving recognition that people would say, and I've got them listed here, is, no surprises, busy, or they feel awkward, or they think the person is going to feel awkward. And sometimes people feel like, well, if I start giving recognition now, it's going to be all like this hidden agenda. They're going to think that I've got some secret motive because I'm giving them positive feedback. Or the time to pay attention. Or maybe it's because they feel like, my staff already know they're doing well. They don't need me to say that. Or they don't feel like it deserves recognition. It's their job. They're supposed to be doing that. Others say, well, my manager doesn't give me feedback, and it's just not our culture. Other places sort of talk about in the corporate world rather than some of the individual entrepreneur world, but that, recognition programs exist. And so it's their responsibility, the recognition program's responsibility. Or because you're coaching others or because they're not your staff, you feel like, well, I'm a little uncomfortable because it's not my staff or it's not someone I oversee. It's just someone you're working with and coexisting with. The other thing is people say is that they're saving the recognition for a great big opportunity instead. And so then it means more if they only say it at the big times. It could be that the rest of their behavior is not up to par, so they don't want to be confusing with one positive thing. The other one is they don't want to single out somebody because then anybody else on the team maybe feels left out. And then the last thing is that people are not always seeing their everyday behavior. So did they just catch them in a good moment? And then the big one is just this real lack of accountability. Like, why should I? It's no one's doing it with me. Why am I doing it with others? So it's a little interesting, the 14 barriers that came out in giving recognition, and sort of what's some of the background to recognition misers. And some of you might have even identified, not with the intention of being a recognition miser, but you've heard it. But this is a big course that people ask me to deliver. And so the purpose is you want to have some skills to support others or the people that you're coaching, or even in your own business and in your world when you're influencing people to try to glean some contracts, is you want to be able to reinforce those behaviors that lead to the results that you're looking for in the people you're coaching or in your people that you're consulting with. And so, how come it's important? This book is called The Carrot Principle. I'm sorry it's showing backwards. But this Carrot Principle book, it's by Adrian Gostick and Chester Elton. And they say how the best managers use recognition to engage their people, retain talent, and accelerate performance. That's what giving recognition does. Engages talent, accelerates performance, and gives recognition to people so that they are motivated. And it's not just a nice to know. It's statistically proven. You can see from these graphs, and in a real financial way that's meaningful, is that, the return on equity is a critical measure in a business. And it's not just a nice to do giving recognition. And what they know is that according to the data of over 200,000 managers and employees, so statistical relevance is that it is 3 times higher in an organization's return experiencing recognition in a positive, constructive, effective way than not at all. So it's so clear. And then lots of other statistics and data on top of it. But it is financially, statistically proven that this is important impact on an organization to drive those results, drive initiative, encourage people to feel confident to take risks. And so what are 3 key steps when giving recognition? Probably a friendly reminder for many of you, but to simplify it is to immediately describe it. Identify an opportunity, have your eyes open, be a recognition detective instead of a recognition Meisner, and identify an opportunity, number 1. Number 2, describe really specifically and immediately. So for example, if you're coaching someone, rather than saying, you did a really good report, it could be giving them recognition to say, wow, your report was really thorough. It described global sales, and then not only did your sales have a global relevance, you tied it right back to the customer service satisfaction survey, which was so meaningful. And so that's the second step. 1, identify the opportunity. 2, describe it immediately and specifically. And 3 is to also discuss the impact on you and on the organization or on the world, depending on who it is that you're talking to. And so by listing the customer service survey and showing the connection to the sales report and driving sales and increasing sales, you impacted me because I really got the importance of the global impact and how important those sales resorts are and how important those customer satisfaction surveys are and how I need to tie that into the results that I'm sharing with others. And you gave our team a lot of credibility and really knocked socks off. So you gave us some reliable trust building. And the impact on the organization that's getting those results that you've done for our small entrepreneurial business now that they're consulting is, I think that they will consider going global and they'll be ready to take more risks in the global market because they see it ties to sales and it ties to customer satisfaction having global products. So that's the impact on the organization. And then back to us is, I think they'll hire us again because you did such a thorough job. So those are the 3 keys. Identify an opportunity, describe it specifically, describe it immediately is still part of number 2. And number 3, include the impact on you and the impact on others. So be a recognition detective. Thank you for listening. Bye, everyone.